Well, it's officially September, which means fall is upon us, but sometimes making that transition out of summer takes a bit of an adjustment. So here to give us her tips as we fall into a new season, if you see what I did there, is Angela Giles, the co-founder of Everyday. Angela, thank you so much for being here.
Well, thank you so much. I'm excited to be here. It's going to be really fun chatting about this.
Yeah, I think everyone is ready to make that transition into fall, but you have some really important tips, 5 key things to keep in mind and keep your productivity up as we transition into the new season. So let's talk about some of those.
Well, I think my first tip is, when I always think of after Labor Day, school starts, you have to get back into this, schedule and do all these things, right? So my first tip is have fun with it, right? I mean, find fun. I always tell everyone, find 15 minutes a day where you're enjoying your life, whatever that is, talking to your BFF, sitting in a hot bath, going for a walk, whatever that looks like, I think is my #1 tip.
And you're a mom of 3 boys, right?
3 boys, yes.
So you have your hands full, you know how to juggle everything. How do you keep the kids on track, too, when making those transitions?
I mean, I think that we have fun. Like, I'm always about making time for fun. I'm also all about having a schedule where, you're getting enough rest. I think it's so important that your kids get enough rest, whether they're small kids or, teenagers, young adults, even your own body, you need to adjust and fluctuate. I need more rest right now than I do in the peak of the summer.
Right.
It's true, because the more stress you're under, the more rest you need.
And speaking of adjustments, I think one of the hardest adjustments is when we change the clocks and it's dark in the mornings or gets dark earlier in the evenings, it's cold. That's a whole different change on your body. So what tips do you have to stay motivated as we transition into those darker evenings and colder mornings?
Well, you know what's so interesting for me? It's always finding my thing that I enjoy. So, for example, this may sound crazy, I'm an avid reader. I love reading. So at nights, I reward myself with a cup of tea, and I get to sit down with my iPhone and I pick a book and I love to read. So it's all about going back to the basics sometimes, finding that thing. If you have a favorite food you love. Another thing that I'm a huge advocate of is a sun lamp. Right? Because especially where if you struggle with some sort of seasonal thing, I happen to, most of my life, and so a sun lamp is really awesome for me, making sure you get out and get enough sunshine, because it helps your production, of your vitamin D and helps you stay motivated.
Yeah, absolutely. And in Las Vegas, we're so used to sun all the time, and then when that's gone, it's a big adjustment for your body.
It's huge. You don't recognize it.
Well, thank you so much for all the tips, and if anyone wants to read more or learn more, where can they find you?
You know what? Just find us on Everyday Woman is our brand. We have a huge community of over 14,000 women. Just look for us on Facebook. You can go to everydaywoman.me and check it out. We have all kinds of tips for women.
Well, thank you so much, Angela.
We're
all excited for fall, so thank you for all the tips. I'll send it over to Mercedes.